Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to this series. There's a lot for me to talk about today, actually. I can't get my voice out. Why isn't my voice coming out properly? Usually when I talk, it's fine. There we go. Getting it back a little bit. Trying to speak in a specific register and my voice is like, no. But I think we're alright now. There we go. I think my voice is out now. There we go. Yeah, okay. No problem. It's like blowing in a flute and there's something in it and you're like, oh shit. In this case it's not like I had to clear my throat or something, but it's a little bit like that. It's like there was an obstruction. Anyway, so there are a few things that I have to discuss, both in relation to this game and in relation to my video creation in general. I guess I'll start with the stuff that's not specific to this game. Basically, I've been having issues with my other capture card. It is the capture card that I use to record anything that doesn't use HDMI. So basically, my PlayStation 2, my Nintendo 64, my GameCube, my Wii, my PS3. I mean, basically a lot of things. You know, Super Nintendo, everything that doesn't have HDMI. That capture card is an original Elgato Game Capture HD, which is very good. There's nothing wrong with the capture card itself. I mean, it sort of depends on how you look at it, but I would say that strictly speaking, there's nothing wrong with the capture card. The problem lies in the USB functionality of the capture card, which is so unsurprising because USB fucking sucks. Basically, the USB output, which is USB, like mini USB type B, which is also called mini B, that particular output is fucked, and it's been fucked for a while, but it has now finally reached the point where it's just too fucked. You know, eventually you get to the point where it's too fucked for it to even work, and we've reached the point where it's too fucked for it to work, so I have to try and figure out what to do with that. Hopefully I can replace that particular port. I know what the problem is, so hopefully that will make it easier to solve, because getting another one of those exact same capture cards is kind of hard. And quite frankly, I don't have much faith in Mini B, and the number of insertions that I'd be able to get out of the thing. I would say not many, and more than anything else, the port just sucks. Like, it's not properly sitting in it, and it's just generally speaking not good. So if I were to spend all the money to get another one of those, and I think the price has gone up because they're not being manufactured anymore, and they offer, I guess, capturing or game capture functionality that the new ones don't, and that is to capture games that don't use HDMI. The modern Elgato game capture cards only support HDMI, so yeah, they have retained their price for that reason. And I don't want to have to buy a whole new capture card if the actual capture card functionality itself is perfectly fine. And the only issue is USB, and it could very well go sour very quickly if I were to buy a new one anyway, because USB sucks. So that's basically what's happening with that. I'll have to see if I can get that replaced, like that particular part replaced. I'll have to go and talk to someone about it or whatever. I don't know, it's a high priority because I do like to record games outside of consoles that only use HDMI, or that I would record with HDMI. In terms of the game itself, the game in front of us right now, I mentioned on my Discord, but not on camera. Well, sort of on camera. This was mentioned a little bit on camera in the last recording, but basically what I've been doing in this game, and I've been playing quite a little bit off camera, is I've been building my blunt weapon arsenal. I now have a decent number, not all of what I want to make, but a decent number of elemental blunt weapons, or perhaps we could also say weapons that would be compatible with a blunt set that do have element. There are certain weapons that are just, you know, de facto blunt weapons, and then others that aren't quite so, in the sense that you would have to actually, in battle, drop down the sharpness level before it's viable with Bludgeoner, or before Bludgeoner can actually give you a boost in damage based on the sharpness level. Basically, you only start getting a boost in your damage when you reach green sharpness. Blue sharpness and above gives you no increase through Bludgeoner. And some of the weapons that I'm going to be using with this set, not just this set, I should say with this skill, I have a few sets that I have Bludgeoner on at this time, but, and I made a new one actually, but I haven't made any weapons for that just yet. It's a blunt gun lance set. and I'll talk about that in a minute, but basically there are certain weapons that don't start at blue, and I think an example that I could show is this one here. That's not quite right. No. It has this much fucking sharpness? I don't know about this. This was the first one that I decided to make in that vein, and I think that has too much fucking sharpness for that. But still, this would be an example of what I'm talking about. You can see that it doesn't really work as a bludgeoner weapon if I were to bring it out in a hunt immediately, so there you go. Thanks for the subscription again, Potato. So, yeah, this weapon is probably the worst example of a blunt weapon that I'll be using with the blunt set, but I do have better ones that also sort of fit into the category of not immediately working as blunt weapons when I go into the hunt. But I do still have a number of weapons to craft, but I've made a lot. I've probably made about 7 new elemental blunt weapons in various weapon types. I wouldn't really be able to go through all of them. I think I took care of basically all of my greatswords. I think the only one that I was going to make for greatsword that I haven't made yet would be a sleep greatsword, but I don't know if I ever want to make that, to be completely honest. Why would I want a sleep greatsword? But, yeah, I'm really happy with some of them. I'll try to go through all of them if I possibly can, but I probably wouldn't be able to. Let's try, at least with greatswords. So, greatswords, we've got, here we go, here's the dragon one. So this is Nikakos. All the Nikakos weapons work well in conjunction with bludgeoner, because, well, not all the Nikakos weapons. Basically, the standard skeletal Nikakos weapons all work in conjunction with bludgeoner quite well, because they all have a maximum of green sharpness without sharpness increased skills. So this one here has 24 dragon, 380 innate, raw with negative 25% affinity. Not so viable if we were to compare it directly to the Acantor Godsword, however, it does have an elemental function in this case, so therefore it would be probably comparable to, or, well, let's not say comparable to, it's always comparable to, but my point is that it might be about as good as the Acantor Godsword versus a monster that's weak to dragon. But the issue obviously is that we have negative affinity here, as opposed to, like, probably positive 30 in the case of the Acantor Godsword. But we're going to try and try 45. But we're going to try and not compare it too much, because it's about having fun with element, you know. I'm not here to deal the most damage possible. I'm here to deal good damage while having fun. You know, that's basically how I play Monster Hunter, so that's how we're going to do that. Outside of that, we've got the Plesioth Wave Edge. This is one of my favorite elemental blunt weapons, seriously, because it is fucking good. Check out these stats. So my end stats here, not taking into account the boost that you'll get during a quest with Bludgeoner, because keep in mind, Bludgeoner will not actually apply the damage increase until you're in a quest, because it gives its increased base. Let's try to actually speak English. It gives its increase based on the sharpness level, which cannot occur outside of a hunt, basically. But yeah, you can see that even in this situation, with 385 attack and 45 element, pretty damn good, and we don't really have to worry about bouncing, obviously, because we do have Mind's Eye. Even though a greatsword will get something of a Mind's Eye effect when you charge it fully, there are situations where that doesn't even work, and second of all, you're not always going to be reaching a level 3 charge with your greatsword. If you're using greatsword properly, you're getting away with whatever charge you can get away with in that moment. Sometimes that'll be a level 2, sometimes that'll even be a level 1. So basically, Mind's Eye is still absolutely necessary for a bludgeoner set with greatsword. That's the point there. So, I'm not sure what the hell you're talking about, Juvenator, as far as when you say, aren't they better? Because you're going to have to speak very, very specifically, because I can't read your mind, you see. But, anyway, that's that weapon. Next of all, we've got, I think, yeah, my only other one is the Elderfrost Great Tusk, which is... Look, I've got a lot of Elderfrost stuff. I've fought a lot of Elderfrost generally, but there is a specific item that I'm going to have to grind, and that is Elderfrost Trunk Spines. I can't make as many Elderfrost weapons as I would like to, based on the fact that I don't have many Elderfrost Trunk Spines, and I absolutely hated having to get Trunk Spines in the past. because I now own 2 Elder Frost weapons. I own the bow, which is a very good bow, absolutely, I don't regret making that at all, and I also own the greatsword, and I'm in the process of making the lance. At this time, it's at level 4, I think there's like 2 more levels, oh no, 1 more, but that requires trunk spines, which I don't have, and I'll probably need to make at least 3 other Elder Frost weapons for blunt, because generally Elder Frost is the best for blunt ice. Basically, in every circumstance, beats out Ukanlos, but there is one weapon type that I prefer over Ukanlos and Elder Frost, assuming Ukanlos is even an option for this weapon type. The weapon type in question is dual blades, and I've gone with this thing, White Death, because it's got no negative affinity, it's got good raw and good element. It's the element that really tipped me over the edge here. One issue with Elder Frost is that it's not very high in the elemental value, and this is all about doing blunt element basically, so I had to go with White Death. That's basically the Geodrome dual blades, or Geoprey, because I think they're called Geoprey. In fact, all weapons and armor, I believe, that are based on the prey and drome monsters are named after the smaller version, the prey versions, so strictly speaking you would say that. But yeah, I have a lot of weapons to choose from here, and I'm probably not going to be spinning the roulette this time, because I think it would be harder to use these blunt weapons if I were to choose or go with whatever the roulette chooses for me, so basically I'll just try to use these new weapons this time around. I'm not going to do Elder Frost today, Juvenator, that's not happening. I would sooner lie myself down on train tracks, so yeah, not happening today. But thanks for the offer. I'm not sure what you mean about... When you say... Listen, Juvenator, the sentence that you write... Just give me one moment to get HP support assistant off my fucking screen. Okay. Get off. Get out. Get out of my life. Alright. The sentence, the problem with the aren't they better and white sharpness Nakako's weapons? I don't know what you mean by that. Because the question would be, better than what? And second of all, are you saying aren't the white sharpness Nakako's weapons better? The answer would be no in the case of a bludgeoner setup, because they have white sharpness. So again, the objective here is to make blunt weapons, right? So if I can interpret what you've written as the white sharpness Nakako's weapons being better, the answer in this case would be no, because that's not what I'm trying to do. So... Ugh, okay. It's a pet peeve of mine to have someone speaking to me in a way that I can't understand. But, sure, Hyper Mizutsune. In terms of blunt thunder weapons, I think I've got like 2 or 3. It's worth mentioning that much like the Awaken endgame, you will not have access to every element for every weapon type, which is extremely annoying. The reason why is because you'll have to actually retain some memory of what weapons you don't have elements for with that specific style of play. In the case of Awaken, you'll have to remember, oh, I actually don't have Fire Awaken dual blades, for example. It's the same thing with Bludgeoner, which is annoying. I wish that they could at least have one decent option for each, but they don't. So, yeah, it makes it harder to know what I can and can't use, in other words, because you have to remember weird little things like that. So, pause off my fish. It is Hyper Mizutsune. I just wanted to make sure, because all the time you join rooms and the room name does not match up to the quest being done on the board, so, you know. Do we want to go great? Well, no, I don't think I have Thunder Blunt Greatswords, so let's try Longsword, I guess? Oh, that's right, yes, I do have one for Longsword. This is another example of a... Stop that. This is another example of a weapon that is not automatically going to be dealing an increased amount of damage through Bludgeoner, because you can see it does start with some blue sharpness, but it's not much at all. Once I get the damage boost from Bludgeoner, this is going to be a seriously strong weapon, because... And also, this weapon is a first-gen weapon, Not in its entirety, because there were no longswords in 1st gen, but this became a longsword in 2nd gen. And this was basically the best Thunder Greatsword of 1st gen, so it's nice to be able to use this again. And it's funny to see the equivalents to this particular weapon be brought into future games, such as the Thunderclap. The laggy longsword was basically a 3rd gen equivalent to the exact sword that I'm using here, which has its origins in 1st gen, as the best Thunder Greatsword. So, yeah. Can't quite remember what it was called in 1st gen. It was a very generic sort of name, nothing real specific, but, or it wasn't very unique anyway. But, yeah, I think it was called the Devil Slicer, now that I think about it. Yeah, well, unique enough. Well, it wasn't just Freedom Unite that has weird hitboxes, it's all of 1st and 2nd gen. It just so happens that most people's exposure to... What the hell is going on? It turns out that most people's... Oh, that's right, we're doing Mizitsu now. I very rarely come into this area and fight a monster that starts over there. Or come into this location and fight a monster that starts in that area. So, all the time I'm joining quests and I'm like, not actually taking note of the fact that we're hunting a specific monster and working out what area to go to based on that. But, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, most people's exposure to pre-3rd gen is Freedom Unite. And in the case of bad hitboxes, it's not just Freedom Unite, it's basically every game pre-3rd gen. So, yeah, there you go. Actually, my TV is too loud because I was recently playing Game Boy Advance games, so 1 minute. There we go. No problem, I'm just, you know, leeching in the hunt. It's not an issue. What's my favourite village? Oh shit. Already got a disconnect at the start of the hunt. You know, I don't mind a disconnect later on in the hunt because that person will have at least been given an opportunity to deal some damage, but now we are basically doing a 3-man hunt. But whatever. So again, you can see no damage boost here. We're sitting on 322, that's basically from our Power Charm and Armor Charm, excuse me, Power Charm and Power Talon. And nothing else, we don't have any damage skills outside of that, and I don't think I ate for Attack Up Large. But once we drop down to Green Sharpness, we will indeed be at a higher attack level through the Bludgeoner damage increase. I will be aiming for the Claws for the reason that this does high elemental damage as well. This is going to be an example of a weapon, once I do have my Bludgeoner increase, that deals very high element and very high raw. So that's pretty cool, I like that. I did not mean to move in that direction. But it worked in the end, sort of. Didn't actually fully charge that, that's so annoying. Ugh, it was very close to fully charging, but not quite. You know, I'd very much like it if you could stop moving around. I know it's a lot to ask, especially considering that you being stationary would not be conducive to an exciting and dynamic hunt, but still, I'd like to charge up my fucking longsword. Got a garbage truck in the fucking street. I thought I avoided 2 of those before starting this recording, and it turns out that there's a 3rd one. And I may or may not scream, but I probably won't, because that would be a little bit over the top. I do have enough, I guess, I don't know, can't think of the word. Enough, well, I'm not going to be doing that, because I can stop myself from doing it. Whoop. Restraint is the word that I was looking for. I have enough restraint not to scream. I love it when you're trying to do a commentary and then can't think of how to speak the English language. It's the best thing in the world. Oh yeah, I just noticed that it is a longsword team right here. Annoyingly, because I haven't been able to hit this monster very much, despite the fact that I don't have much blue sharpness, and despite the fact that I'm using a weapon type like the longsword, I am still here with blue sharpness, and it's fucking annoying. There we go. There we go. So now our damage is going to be 354 attack with 56 Thunder, which is very good. Very nice. Just managed to get that Spirit Slash out. Hey, Exia. Tell you what, Wednesday's not a happy day for recording because of all the fucking garbage trucks, but whatever. Now, I didn't actually get to show you because I'd forgotten to, I didn't end up showing you my blunt gun lance set, but the question that you might have is, where did you end up registering that? Because you were talking in recent recordings, Doomlink, about not having any more space for armor sets. Well, I decided to do away with an armor set that I had registered purely for convenience, and that was my Switch Axe set. My Switch Axe set is exactly the same as my standard longsword set. The only difference is that registered to that armor set slot are the Hunter Arts that I have for Switch Axe. Basically, if I change weapon types with the same armor set, it requires me to manually select those Hunter Arts each time. The Hunter Arts specific to the weapon type. But with the power of separate armor sets being registered, I don't have to manually change them, but unfortunately I couldn't continue doing that because I needed space, and the blunt weapons are really fun, so, well, I was hoping I'd be able to clear that just by running normally, but that didn't happen. You haven't been here in a while. I don't know. How long is a while for you? 7 days? If even. Anyway. So yeah, I should stay at this level of sharpness for a while. I think we've got... Oh yes, yeah, no problem at all. We'll be sitting on green sharpness for the rest of this hunt, because that's a lot of green sharpness. Noctis left the harbour. I don't know how he ended up here. Noctis joined and then left. So... don't know what his deal is, but anyway. Not having a good hunt today, in case you hadn't noticed. In case you hadn't noticed. I'm not having a good hunt. I'd like it a whole lot more if we had 4 people as well. I don't really like 3-manning hyper monsters, but whatever. I made a mistake of going into a spirit combo there. I didn't intend to press the button, but I did, so that's why I went into one. That's right, I'm so used to having raw resistance, but unfortunately I don't have that with my bludgeoner set. It's just not reasonable. I have too many requirements for my skills when it comes to a bludgeoner set. Such as bludgeoner and mind's eye. Those two together don't really work when you... I mean, for example, I would say that high grade earplugs would be used in conjunction with damage skills, right? But if you're already using bludgeoner and mind's eye, I feel like I would not want to put points into something like earplugs. I don't know what that other guy's doing. Oh, there he is. Felt like I didn't see him for a while there. Let's do some Unhinged Spirit, because this is getting stupid. This monster is moving around so much that I just can't charge up my damn longsword. And it will be made slightly easier with Unhinged Spirit. As you can see, only slightly. Playing very aggressively and very stupidly, but it's only out of desperation to get my longsword charge up. The problem with a hyper monster is that you can't really hope for flinches so much because the flinch threshold's so high. I mean, there's nothing I could have done there, right? I was stuck in a combo. The best thing you can do is just wait for an opportunity to start, and then just hope the monster doesn't do anything to you by the time you're done with the combo. Like, for example, he flinched there, so I was safe. But, you know, really all I can do is just look for an opportunity to go in, and then pray from that point on. That is assuming you want to do longsword spirit combos, which is what I want to do, because that's what deals damage, you see. Again, so used to having raw resistance. I do have Critical Juncture. I might use it now. I don't know if it ended up making contact with him there. I hope it did. Critical Juncture actually absorbed most of that damage. I don't think Critical Juncture always absorbs all damage. Maybe it does. Yeah. Maybe it's only that Greatsword Hunter Art that doesn't really do that. Can't remember what it's called now. Don't know why Hunter Art names just don't stay in my mind. They really don't. It's kind of odd. Autonomic, I did just spend the first, like, whatever it was, 10 minutes of this recording, while you were here, explaining that these are new weapons that I have forged for the blunt endgame that I've just decided to engage with. And that I'm going to focus on using these blunt weapons, so yeah, this would be the first time you've seen me use this longsword. So, you're certainly right about that. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Not really happy with this hunt in general, but I'm happy with the weapon at least. Can't ask for much more than that, right? Oh, can you not? Seriously, the last thing I need is some Ludroth doing a belly flop. Well, it wasn't a belly flop, it was just him jumping forward, but still. I don't have time for that stupid behavior. It's affecting my ability to hunt, damn it. So go do it somewhere else. Go get a trampoline or something if you want to jump around. Oh, again. I just don't have raw resistance. It feels so wrong not to have it with a longsword. Basically, the reason why I use raw resistance with the longsword is because I want to be able to use the raw as an opportunity to get my charge up on my longsword. And I also don't want my combo to be interrupted if I'm in the middle of attacking the monster and it roars. It's just how it is. And I treat Switch Axe the same. The Switch Axe is just one of those weapon types that I don't want to be prevented from attacking with it. Well, despite the damage that or the high damage that I'm no doubt dealing to this monster, it feels like a bit of a slow run. Be nice to get a critical juncture in there, but I feel like last time I might have missed. Probably shouldn't have even used longsword, but I thought I'd go to the next weapon type down from greatsword and see if there was a thunder weapon there, and there was. There sure was. As simple as this weapon design is, I almost prefer it to the Zenoga longsword even then, just because I don't like the Zenoga longsword weapon design. Technically more stylized than this thing, but whatever. At least it's kind of interesting with the eyes. It didn't originally have this big purple thing on the... What's the... I was going to say ribbon. Ribbon doesn't sound quite right. And whatever the purple shit on the scabbard is, it wasn't there in first gen. Might have been added in second. I didn't use this in second gen personally, so I can't really remember what it looks like. And it's not often used in the community, so... yeah. Oh! But yeah, that purpley shit. I'll call it a ribbon. That purple ribbon wasn't there, basically. Oh, you know why it wasn't there? It's because there was no scabbard. It was just the sword on the back. That's why. I couldn't remember a purple ribbon on the scabbard in first gen, because there was no scabbard. Bloody hell. That makes sense. The scabbard was added for the... Well, I mean, all you need to do is look at modern greatswords. It's not like you've ever seen a greatsword with a scabbard, right? Well, it's about... Oh, actually, the Toyo sword has a scabbard. That's why... Well, no. I guess it's not really in the spirit of first gen if it has a scabbard, right? But... Maybe some greatswords have scabbards now, but... Traditionally speaking, greatswords never had them, but longswords did, so... There you go. What is Ellie using? What longsword is that? Oh, is that a fucking water longsword? Is that why this is taking so fucking long? Ugh. So we've got an Atulkar longsword and a water longsword. Great. Obviously the guy that we lost was one of the damage dealers. Fuck me. Whatever. At least he's limping. Ah, good knockdown. I will give you that. Yeah, so watch Ellie. You can see there's a fucking water effect coming off that longsword. Oh, how utterly ridiculous. I don't know what hunter rank Ellie is, but it's too high of a hunter rank to be using a water longsword against Mizutsune. Because basically, the only reason why you would ever do that is if you didn't have anything better to use. Yeah, that is the Mizutsune longsword, check that out. I don't know if it's Soul Seer or standard Mizutsune, but I'll tell you what, it's inappropriate for this hunt. There's no real argument to be had. To the contrary. But yeah, so... Oh, well, it's glowing red now, but... This thing used to be put on the back without a scabbard, so it was just this black blade on your back. Which was nice. Hoping everything's fine with the live stream. Seems fine to me. Alright. Autonomic is on. There's another Mizutsune Pallium. Pallium doesn't seem appropriate for a Mizutsune. I don't know why. I feel like Mantle would have been more appropriate. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I associate Pallium with Brute Wyverns, I guess. I think... Yeah. But whatever. Probably because I think Pallium was often seen with Uragan in 3rd gen. It's probably part of it. Uragan, Pallium and all that. Because, of course, the terms Mantle and Pallium were only really... Well, excuse me, they first appeared in 3 Ultimates, so... Well, that's it for this room anyway. Well, if you're going to play Autonomic, I'll find a room with space for you, and I'm not going to do like one of my own rooms, because that's going to suck. So, I'll look for a room without many people in it. Let's see what this event quest is. Just hold off on joining until I confirm what this is, because I might just leave immediately. DNM. Defy the prophecy. I'm not doing Fatalis. Sorry, guy. You'd get a whole lot more help if you actually told people what you were doing, you know? Unless he had Fatalis written there. No, he didn't. There's no Fatalis information there whatsoever. Recruiting. Quiet Kid. And After Image. Wow. After Image. It's like a fucking ninja, you know? My hair is not behaving itself. You dicks. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, really. I shouldn't be surprised. Oh, it's an arena quest. Well, that's a different story. I guess Grudge Match is referring specifically to arena, but in older games, Grudge Match didn't refer to arena, so that's why I don't recognize that as an arena-specific term. Okay, how about Dude Rose? Those two words are like on opposite ends of the spectrum. Because dude is like this masculine thing, and then rose is a feminine word, you see. Alright, try to join this one, Autonomic. Hopefully these people are doing something somewhat fun. Yes, if they actually set the hunter rank minimum to 100 and apply that limit, you won't be able to join. Now, someone took your spot. Okay. Well, if I have to make my own room, which I don't want to, I really don't want to, but if I have to, I will. This guy's screaming about deviance. This person's called the room license. Why? Whatever. And I believe it's a misspelling as well, so don't know what the deal with that is. A license to hunt? Maybe? Maybe. Oh no, it is the correct spelling of license, excuse me. No, hold on. Yeah, it is incorrect. I was confusing myself as far as what was written. But yes, what was written was wrong. Yes, I'm drinking wine. It is port. Fortified wine. License. You know what, my friend? You can go choke on a cock. Okay? Okay. I don't have time for people who do not mark... Well, I guess the guy hadn't actually accepted the quest when I found the room, so I would have known what he was doing had I waited. Or, well, not had I waited, but had I seen the room when he had posted the quest. But I think it would be better to maybe include the information that you're actually doing a deviant. So, I have style. Well, thank you. I will make a room. And it's going to be called G rank. And this time I mean it. We're not going to do anything high rank. Not today. Not in that kind of mood. And I'm not feeling extraordinarily accommodating today. And apparently words are not coming to mind either. I'm having a bit of a slow day. Sometimes I get out of bed and I'm operating at like 70% efficiency. I feel like that's what's happening today. How are you at this hunter? I swear you were like 550 last week. You play too much, seriously. You'll probably be at hunter rank 999 by the time I'm at hunter rank 999, for fuck's sake. Well, I guess, well, admittedly, Juvenator only plays this Monster Hunter game. He doesn't play other Monster Hunter games. At least no other real Monster Hunter games, so... Yeah, I guess that's why he gets up the hunter rank so quickly. See, now I'm at a loss as to what to do. Someone can post, I don't care who. How about that? What I like about joining other rooms is that someone can just post their quest and I don't have to worry about it, but here we have to do a rotation, I guess, but... yeah. And also, Autonomic, I do hope to high heaven that you've actually got an objective. Like, stuff that we can hunt. Because one thing that was bothering me last time was you not knowing what you wanted and then you'd have to take time to work it out. I'm a little bit more organised than that in the sense that I... No, we don't do that here. This isn't, I'm going to try to take an opportunity to post. This is sit here and wait and see what the room's doing, or what the group is doing. I do not hunt with people who run to the quest giver immediately, thinking that they're going to sneak in a quest for people to do for them. What you do is you either communicate and say, could you help me, or could we hunt, or something like that. Or you sit there and wait. Those are your two options. You don't just run to the quest giver and hope that someone does your quest. Oh, you play through Ultimate on 3DS. I didn't know you did, Juvenator. That's good. You want to see my elemental longswords? Okay. This is the let's do everything except hunt recording. Fuck me up my ass. Next time... whatever, I'm not going to say anything. So here we go, we've got Frostvelt. This is at 330 raw, 36 element. Wyvern Blade Garnet, which I use both as my regular fire longsword and my blunt fire longsword, because without sharpness +2 it works well for blunt, with sharpness +2 it works well for standard. Oppressor's Law for thunder. No. Oh, Super L. Super L. You know what, mate? We're not even hunting anyway by the looks of it, so you may as well. Fatalis Sickle, 320 raw, 30 dragon. That's what I use for dragon longsword. This is my water longsword in Curvicera Telos, 330 raw, 32 element. And this is an alternative option for fire, which I only use when I get sick of the Wyvern Blade Garnet. I do consider the Wyvern Blade Garnet to be better. Super L is saying something in Chinese. You're really hilarious, my friend. You're really hilarious. You're really funny. I wish I had a second camera that I could have like pointed at a wall so that I could switch to that and then I could just do a run up and headbutt the wall, maybe even put my head through the wall. That'd be pretty funny. Because what I have to say, Autonomic, is that when I'm here live, I want to hunt. Okay? It's nothing against you personally, it's just when I'm live, I really need to hunt. So I need to at least have something to post on the board. If not, then I can't just be sitting here twiddling my dick, you know. I have to have something to hunt. That's the way I do things around here. I'm not going to try and negotiate this raid to try and get people in, but if there ever happens to be a spot and you're still around, you're welcome to join. Okay, so this guy, interestingly, oh, I remember this guy. Isn't this the Hunter Rank 999 that I deemed to be a cheater in the past? On the basis that he posted a quest and then asked for help with it, and then I think he glitched out my session. So I think he had a cheat going that messed with my instance or something like that. I think it's that guy, but whatever. Alright, what have you got, Autonomic? Is it G rank? If it's not G rank, I might cry. I might start sobbing uncontrollably on stream. And then I might actually have to get that camera organised where I pointed at a wall and then put my head through the wall. That could also work. I don't know if Mr. QQ is going to stick around, but I guess he will. Price freeze. Hey, G-Rank. Alright, so I could always stick with what I have here, but I don't think I will, because I just used it. Functionally, yes, this would work, but I don't think I will use that. I don't think I have many thunder options for blunt weaponry, so I might have to go with something else. Oh, here we go, Indra. There you go. It's funny, these blunt weapons are harkening back to first gen. Indra, specifically the Kirin Bolt Indra, or Indora, as it was called in first gen. That was their translation of it, because that's how it's said in Japanese. Was the best Thunder Sword and Shield, well, Mr. QQ left anyway, was the best Thunder Sword and Shield of first generation. It was sort of a blue colour, but the same weapon design. Basically, you would have this coloration for the starting upgrades, and then it would move to sort of a bluish colour. And it used Kirin materials, whereas in this game I don't think this ends up using Kirin materials. I think it was other stuff, just Thunder Sacks from memory. The sharpness was kind of different in fact very different in first generation. It had green sharpness without sharpness +1, but with sharpness +1 it did get a decent amount of blue, and maybe even a little bit of white. I can't really remember, but I think it got blue sharpness. Anyway. Don't say never mind, Monster Boy, because you've got a free space. You're welcome to join if you'd like to. The room information is G rank, and I mean, why do you say never mind when I said that you're welcome to join if there is a free space? There is a free space right here, so you are welcome to join indeed. I'm not going to hold your hand into this room for you. You've got it right there. So, we've got a decent hunt on the board. It's not hyper, but that's fine. In fact, Autonomic, it might be a good idea to do the hyper quest. If you're just looking for Tigrex stuff, we could do hyper, because again, we'll have a pretty reasonable G-rank team, and pretty much no matter what weapon you're making, unless you're not making a Tigrex weapon, you will need the hyper materials at some point in the future anyway. So, oh, you're in a session? Okay, that's fine. No, it's all good. But yeah, it's good to do the hyper if you have a team that will allow for an easy hyper hunt. For the reason that it just saves you from getting the hyper materials in the future anyway, because you'll likely need them. Even if you're not even making a Tigrex weapon at this time, you'll likely need the stuff in the future, so it's just good to gauge what the team is and then hunt based on that. Although if we can't get a fourth, then I'll just depart with 3, which is still fine for a hyper, honestly. I mean, I was being a bit dramatic in the previous hunt about not wanting to do a 3-man hyper. I'm fine with a 3-man hyper. I'm just not fine with a 3-man hyper that involves a person using a water longsword versus Mizutsune. At that point, I start to question a lot of things, actually. I start to question a lot of things. Rejuvenator is changing weapons or something. Well, we can do Deviants, I don't mind. Just not high rank ones, I don't do high rank Deviants, that's not gonna happen. I mean, obviously I'd prefer not to do Deviants, but if we must. If you hold a figurative gun to my head and say, I want to do a Deviant, I suppose I'll have to comply and oblige. God mode activate, yeah, go for it. I wouldn't quite call that God mode, but yeah, the damage is fine. Alright, let's see how many people from the raid stuck around. Oh, a decent number. More than I was expecting. Thanks for sticking around. Although, it's probably not going to last unless we actually depart on the bloody hunt. It's Twitch, we have to keep things entertaining, otherwise people head off somewhere else. Let's get out of here. I don't know why Mr. QQ didn't want to stick around. Maybe because it was just standard Tigrex wasn't very interesting to him. But, whatever. I forgot to actually change my hunter arts for this, but that's alright. What? Oh, you dick. You fucking idiot. Now that... I was in the middle of... oh, that's extremely frustrating. I have not seen something so frustrating since last hunt. Which was a guy using a Mizutsune longsword against a Mizutsune. What's frustrating here is that I've chosen the wrong armor set for this fucking weapon. I chose my sword and shield armor set because I'm just habitually using my sword and shield armor set with sword and shields. What a surprise. But this time around I actually wanted to use my blunt longsword set with it, whilst changing the hunter arts to accommodate sword and shield. So, yeah, I'm basically stuck with a green sharpness weapon without bludgeoner, which, in case you needed me to spell it out for you, kind of sucks. I mean, it's alright. Actually, it's kind of fine, because this is still very high damage, so could be worse. Given the fact that I don't need to sharpen this up very much, we should be fine. I don't think I'll be bouncing. Possibly on the arms, but we'll see. Wait, where is he? Oh, hello! How did he end up being out of my field of vision so perfectly? Hold on. But yeah, aside from that stupid attack, I'm pretty disappointed about this, because I'm not able to use this as a blunt weapon, really. It's technically still blunt, in a sense. It's just I'm not using the bludgeoner effect in conjunction with it, so I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of damage here, like a lot. But at least in this case I do have critical skills, so... critical skills on top of 372 raw and 30 element is still very good, so that's not going to really detract from the experience. It's just not what I was looking to do at all. I'll try to aim for the head as much as I can, but that's obviously very dangerous with the Tigrex. See, even with the intention to roll away from, like, the central part of his body, I can't avoid that hitbox. They actually make his movements create the largest hitbox possible, because you can see his limbs flailing around quite a bit when he actually goes for a charge in this game. That's specifically designed to get you caught on almost anything. It's a difficulty factor. That's Chaos Oil. Oh, completely misses the head, although I think I did end up nicking the head there, which is good, but... Sword Dance was a bit overzealous of me. I managed to get the final hit on the face, but you can see I've taken a hit as a result. This sword looks pretty damn cool with Chaos Oil, I have to say, because it's sort of a long sword. Not like a long sword, but a long sword, if you know what I mean. Which you don't, but try to understand. No, you probably know what I mean. I'm just not communicating it in it. I'm not communicating it in a very articulate manner. How about that? At this rate, I would have preferred to do the standard Tigrex because I did end up using the wrong fucking armor set. But this is still a good armor set. It's not like I used a fucking lance armor set with a sword and shield. I have done worse. No, I've definitely done worse. You can see the technique there is to basically catch up to him. Not just run away from him, but also run towards where he's going whilst simultaneously avoiding his attack path. That's for the sake of DPS, of course. And high mobility is basically the theme of Sword and Shield. High mobility, high DPS, because you can always adjust yourself while attacking, which is useful for both evasion purposes and also for keeping on target with the monster. So we cut the tail, I'll go and carve that. And as far as where Tigrex is going, he is going in this direction as well, which works out rather nicely. Look, Autonomic, it depends on the deviant. What kind of deviant were you wanting to hunt? If it's a deviant that I've done a million times before, maybe I would say no, but if it's a deviant that, like, I don't know, provided it is at G rank level and it's not Elderfrost or Silverwind, I should be fine. I mean, Hellblade I'd rather not, but I can sort of live with it. Drill task? Hey, I'm cool with that. If you've got a G rank level drill task, I'll do it, but I'm not doing I rank. Alright. Well, it was a rather sudden attack, sudden run forward maneuver. Just finding an opportunity to do sword dance, and I think I've found it. That's good enough. Sort of hoping, ideally when you do something like Sword Dance, which is a very long combo, you hope that you're not going to be caught out towards the end. The only reason why I'm going for the legs is so that I'm not flinched by the longsword guys. But it's still not good enough. Ugh. But yeah, of course this particular armor set is very bad defense for a Deviant. I'm sitting on 693, not even 700 defense. So, very bad for... Did I say Deviant? I meant Hyper Monster. Did I say Hyper or Deviant? Well, specifically for a Hyper, I mean, look at the damage, right? This is what I'm talking about. And it's a lot of... Stop with your ridiculous behavior. The last thing I need is to get stuck in place because of some No. I don't need this right now. Is he going to position himself on me? No. Because he'd been interrupted with what he was doing, so I was thinking that it would be just my luck if he went and repositioned to face me for his follow-up, which I would not have been impressed about. Chaos Oil. I'll just wait for the right time for that. Which is now. Fortunately, I did manage to get through his stupid hitbox this time. I'm trying to get in position for the head here because it seems that I'd be quite well rewarded going for the head because I'm the only one bloody aiming for it. Alright, I'm just going to wait for the roar, then get in position. Oh wow! I think the range of the roar is greater in this game. I don't think I'm wrong about that. Traditional Tyrex would not have such a long-range roar. I don't think, anyway. Alright. Of course, part of the reason why I even considered aiming for the head at all was because of the Chaos Oil effect. Otherwise, I would have stayed the hell away on the basis of the longsword guys being there. But if I see that they're not there, I'll be like, well, let's just go. Deal some head damage. As you can see, the benefits of high mobility with a sword and shield are very clearly expressed through my ability to get out of range and in position for the head whilst simultaneously avoiding attacks. That's why sword and shield is kind of the best weapon type. You can like it or you can dislike it, but it's fucking balanced. It's just really nice. And it even has shielding capabilities. Yeah, we don't need to live with better to live with a moment of regret than in a lifetime of doubt. But, no, there's nothing to regret there. Rejuvenator's fucking unsheathing on me over here. Also, welcome to the live stream, Drej, as usual. Twitch names that I can't pronounce. It is a prerequisite of making a Twitch account. It is to specifically make a name that cannot be pronounced at a glance by Twitch streamers. But I do welcome you. I appreciate any and all... why are you guys coming up with that? I do appreciate any and all participation. Oh, he did go down there. Holy shit. I'm the idiot. He didn't go... Oh my god. Well, it's dumb, dumber, and dumbest at the moment. So, let's fix that. What the fuck? Oh, I thought he was going to go there, shit. Yes, the silent raid. Well, I appreciate you for being here. And participating. That is, by the way, the largest raid that I've ever had with so many silent people. Like, that's a new one. You guys definitely have stuck out in that way. Well, of course, you know, the obligatory initial "this is a raid" messages, but outside of that. But I will say that you guys have stuck around in spite of your silence, which is good. I like that. I've definitely seen worse. Ooh, sort of hoping for a drop attack there. Should we go for the capture and just save the time? I think we will. Yeah, I generally don't do this, but I feel that it just works better in conjunction with a hyper monster setup to kill. He's not limping? I must have been mistaken and thought that he was limping before, but he might not have been. What the fuck is going on? Okay, I might have completely misread the situation and thought that he was limping out, but maybe he wasn't. Unless the trap stopped being effective at the very last moment of the second track being thrown, which is possible, but I don't know. Don't know about that. Okay, we'll go for the kill, whatever. Well, fortunately, that particular flinch didn't put me in an awkward situation. I've definitely been in positions where, or I've been put into a position in the past by longsword users where I've been flinched in the most terrible position and have taken a hit as a result, but that actually worked in the sense that I had an invulnerability period, so it neither helped me nor messed me up, so I don't mind neutral flinches, but the other sort of flinch I'm not a huge fan of. I can barely see what's going on. Had a good view of Tyrex's asshole, but outside of that, couldn't really see too much. Silently judged. Oh, I'm silently judged. That's for sure. People have a lot of judgments, but they don't often voice them. On YouTube, they just drop dislikes. With the very, very occasional negative comment. Oh. That giant thunderbug took a little while to die. I'm tempted to do... Let's do another Tyrex. If we're going to 3-man again, we'll do a... like a normal one, as opposed to a hyper, and this time I'll actually use my fucking blunt set. What? Feels good being a hunter again, says Juvenator. When were you not a hunter? When did you stop being a hunter? You've been playing very regularly. I don't know what you mean by, it feels good being a hunter again. I don't understand. Did you take a break for 24 hours or something? I'm basically getting a guaranteed Tigrex mantle every time I hunt this thing, I don't know why. It's very odd. It's very odd. Oh. Because you were playing stories? Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I haven't had that problem, personally. What is my controller doing? Hello? Controller is connected, not moving. What the fuck? Okay. Let's go plug it in and unplug it again. Basically, plugging it in and then unplugging it forces it to reconnect with the system. And now, we are working, so... goody. Right. So, with a group of 4, I am tempted to do another hyper. This is the thing. I said that if we were going to do 3, then we would just have it be a standard Tigrex, but that's not what's happening at the moment, so I guess we'll do standard Tigrex. So, Indra, we will have to manually select our Hunter Arts, which will be Sword Dance 3 and Chaos Oil 3. Looks very weird to use a Sword and Shield with this particular armor set. I look very strongly built. Oh, Juvenator is... A Juvenator in typical form completely ignores everything that I say. And... sometimes I wonder why I talk at all. Autonomic without any reservation joins the quest. I mean, I don't know, guys, really. I don't know anymore. But, anyway. We don't have to do Tigrex. We definitely don't have to. But, I don't know. My reason for wanting to do Tigrex again was so that we would have a Thunder Weak monster that I could use this weapon against, with the correct armor set, that indeed someone could get some use out of. So, there you go. Price for it. No, no. No. Again, I said that provided we had a group of 3, we would do the standard. But because we now have 4. Oh, I mean, again, where is that head slam cam? That's what we're going to call it, head slam cam. I'm going to have to get a camera set up on a fucking tripod, facing a wall, so that I can do a run. I mean, I'm going to fucking break my neck on stream, but like, no, I'm not actually going to do it, by the way, but... seriously. I'd put my head through a wall if I could afford to put a hole in my wall, which I can't, but... yeah.
Okay.
So, have I eaten? Yes. I ate for Exchanger. I wasn't even trying to eat for Exchanger last time, I don't think. I did rank up a little bit off camera while I was making these weapons too, which is worth mentioning. Juvenator is probably getting ammunition ready. What's his loadout? Orcus Barcus. Hey. Very good Thunderlight bowgun from the old games. What is my... no, I don't use that for my Thunderlight bowgun in this game on account of the introduction of internal ammo. I deemed the best internal ammo gun, or the best Thunderlight bowgun based on internal ammo, to be the second and newer Kirin light bowgun. The original Kirin light bowgun was the Tri-Blast something or other, I don't know what it's called. Basically, it's the gun with 3 barrels on it that I used to use for cluster back in Freedom Unite, or cluster shot, depending on how you want to say it. But there's another gun in this game, and it's like a rarity 6 or something like that. And it's very, very good for Thunder. Very good. Brilliant internal ammo. I would say that Orcus Barcus does have decent internal ammo. I think I compared it in the past and deemed it to be inferior. So it is more work, generally speaking, to make that Kirin light bowgun, but I'd say it's worth it. Let's see if I can catch up to Tigrex before he leaves. Actually, I will. Definitely, because I don't think he leaves that quickly. There are some monsters that leave this area very quickly when they start here, but I should be able to get him. There we go. I'm not going to go in for an attack on the face immediately, because I'm just going to get affected by the roar. I'll instead use the roar as an opportunity to attack the face. You can see that he has a lot of forward movement with that attack, so I stayed to the side rather than staying in line with the face and trying to expand the distance between the two of us, because that wouldn't have worked. Turn to face me. And then promptly miss your attack. I will check the damage that I'm dealing now, so we are dealing 409 raw attack with 30 element. Now, whether or not that ends up being better overall for damage dealing, in spite of the fact... Actually, no, I'm doing... Oh, that's right, I've got Repeat Offender. So I do have critical damage in spite of the fact that I don't have critical skills. I guess you could technically call this a critical skill. But, yeah, I forgot that I had Repeat Offender here, so I am going to be dealing critical damage on top of this additional raw that I have thanks to Bludgeoner. So that's great. I mean, this is obviously just 10 times better than my other setup for this particular weapon, so... Yeah, it's also worth noting that there is an invisible increase, or an invisible damage boost, in the form of sharpness multipliers. I don't know if it's actually a multiplier, now that I think about it. It might just be set damage added on. But the point is that sharpness damage is invisible damage that will not appear on your attack value. So, like for instance, 370 or so raw at green sharpness might suck, right? Because, or not suck, but it might be equivalent to maybe 330 raw with white or purple sharpness. I don't know, because I haven't gone into the mathematics of the game, but that's what I'm saying. It's not, it might look good, but you have to understand that it's a pretty considerable damage increase that is not actually shown in game with a number that you get from sharpness levels. So yeah, I would be hesitant to not make use of the increased damage from green sharpness with this weapon, is what I'm trying to say. And that's what I was doing last time. Hey, trying to get in position for the head here. I'm not going to use Chaos Oil because I'll be running off in some other direction if I do that. So I'm just going to stay on target with the head. And I'll save Sword Dance for when I have Chaos Oil in effect. In fact, I might Chaos Oil... No. I'm not going to have the time to do that. I might have the time to do it now. Well, missed. On account of the flinch. I will wait to use Sword Dance at an appropriate time. Which might be hard to find. Sharku 3D. Okay. I mean, I didn't really notice his name before, that's why I'm commenting on it now, if you find that to be strange. It is indeed because I didn't take notice of it. Which you'd be able to work out on your own. But I guess me saying it helps, or something. I guess if you do something weird, it's better to address it than make someone else work out why. Because otherwise they think you don't know. But I do. Because I don't have a mental deficiency. I don't think. Okay. So, he's moving in the same direction as last time, so I guess there isn't much confusion to be had as far as where to go. Again, I do like the look of this sword with Chaos Oil. Just looks quite nice. I might get him in a pitfall so that I can Sword Dance the face. I don't know why you have a mental deficiency, Autonomic, but I'm sorry to hear that. This Bullfango is problematic, and I'm actually going to kill him. Get out of here. I don't need you messing up the trap. I see Sharku is using Rapid Thunder. Actually, Sword Dance is not all that great here, because you can see his head is moving all over the fucking place. I got the most important damage out, but it was almost a fluke, honestly. Obviously, I positioned myself in the place that seemed best, but as far as I'm concerned, the timing could have been unfavourable. Oh, fucking hell. There's nothing more annoying than trying to do a combo and then getting full inched in players while a monster's trying to attack you. That's, one of the most annoying things that could happen in Monster Hunter. Yes, it is. Well, I couldn't dive in time, I regret to say. And it is something that I regret. I mean, what is there to say other than the fact that that could hit me is a load of garbage? It was basically... Okay. Good job, asshole. Seriously, do you want a medal? But yeah, the fact that that hit me in the first place is just crap. Just on the very, very edge of the first frame of his hitbox with that attack is what hit me there. What a prick. Fucking Tigrex. Tigrex. I do need to get at some point in the habit of saying Tigrex instead of Tigrex. I'm not American. Do I seem American to you? Why would I say Tigrex? I don't know. Well, I know, but why do I continue to is the question. I suppose the answer would be laziness. His name is Tigrex, which is pronounced Tigrex. Thank you very much. Not Tigrex. You know, just because there's an I in there doesn't mean you say I. Yes, the letter on its own would be pronounced I. But if it's, you know, surrounded by specific consonants, it makes it an I sound, you see. That's how English works. You had to wait. I probably should drink a hot drink or something. Maybe that would be a good thing. I'm just going to make sure that I can follow him wherever he goes. Hello, Gear Prey. Not too worried about you guys. I'll probably stick with this sharpness level. Should be fine. I think as long as you don't get into orange, you're doing well. That's my understanding of it. Once you get a broken blade, that's when it's just not good anymore. Like, it just actually straight up sucks. So, yeah. It's good to know that I feel like that's good. It means I've hit the monster a lot if I have dropped to orange despite the amount of green that I have here. So that's a good thing. I'll let him draw. Fuck me dead, mate. Alright. I don't even want to explain why I did that. Because it's... I think... you know what I'll say? I did that accidentally. How about that? Because that's very grey. That's very unclear. That could mean that I accidentally pressed the buttons, okay? So we're gonna go with that. Because it's abstract. Okay. In other words, it is unclear and open to interpretation. Which is what I need to avoid my embarrassment. Oh, you fucking loser! I've never seen such pathetic behaviour in my life. How many deaths do we have? Sorry? One. One death? One death. And this guy just exited via subquest. With a limping monster. I mean... beggars belief, really. That's pathetic. we can always assume the best in people. I could always say that maybe he had to suddenly do something else, and he didn't want to lose all his progress, so he ended via subquest. But the timing of it would suggest to me that that was his way of protesting. He couldn't have possibly... I think it was something done out of anger. I don't think it was done out of helplessness, or rather hopelessness, excuse me, because it was one death. You know, we're not going to fucking fail. Autonomic says, is he actually dumb? I think so. Again, you can always assume the best in people, but I don't think so in this case. I think the guy's actually dumb. So, you know, good on him, I guess, but... I'll try to do something. Oh, that's not bad. Hey, that's good. That's a better wake up than whatever I was going to do. I like that. But yeah, seriously, I don't believe for even a moment that he left because he ran out of time or anything like that. Alright, I'm going to have to sharpen up. Even though this monster's almost dead, I'm going to sharpen up. Whoa. Keeping in position behind him here so that I can avoid any frontal attacks. He's a very frontal monster in the sense that most of his attacks are directly in front of him, which means that it is always ideal to be to his side or towards the back of the monster so that you don't get hit by any of his frontal attacks. But then to counteract that, in true Monster Hunter form, in true Monster Hunter style, most of the damage dealing areas are towards the front of him. That was a funny way for him to die there. I feel like Juvenator was basically about to die from an incoming attack, but was shooting Tigrex and survived because the monster died. That's what it looked like to me. Another mantle. Remember when I said that every time I hunt this monster I have to get a mantle? This is what I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm getting such good luck with Tigrex. I don't need Tigrex mantles, and I very rarely need them in any game that I hunt him in. But in any game that I hunt him in, I get good luck with his mantles. I can't really remember for Ultimate, but I know that in the case of... Actually, I think in Freedom... Well, in Freedom Unite, for Ultimate, I think, and this game I had good luck with him. I don't know about Portable Third. Portable Third is the one that I'm not sure about, but seriously. That's crazy. Well, Sharko missed out on his rewards. He got some rewards, I guess. He didn't truly miss out on rewards. He didn't abandon, but still. That was totally unnecessary for him to leave via subquest. And maybe some of you think I'm unfair and cynical by saying that he couldn't have possibly left because he ran out of time. Well, yes, there's always that possibility, but you can't underestimate the stupidity of this community. This is what's important to mention. These people, some of them, are just really stupid. They're really, really low-functioning human beings. So, I don't think it's very unlikely that he just left on that basis. That he thought, oh, I'm upset, I don't want to do this hunt anymore, and he left via subquest so that he could at least get something. That's what I think. That is true. You didn't have luck with Tyrex's mantle in 3 Ultimate, well, I suppose you're right about that. That much can't be denied. I didn't have much luck with Nagakuga mantles in that game. Oh no, he was in that game. Never mind. I didn't have much luck with... Well, what else wasn't in that game? I don't think I got any Hypnoc materials in 3 Ultimate. I didn't get one Hypnoc Bazaar. Again, that was the joke, Autonomic. That was the joke that he was making. It is the fact that 3 Ultimate did not have Tigrex in the first place. Now that, I'm not so cynical that I would assume he didn't know that. I'm cynical, but not that cynical. E has joined the room. Juvenator has left. Silently, as he always does. But that's okay. Is it that time already for him to be leaving? I guess so. Anyway, what should we do? We can't actually do Juvenator's Gamoth because he's not here to post it, so... If for some reason you did disconnect Juvenator and you would like to come back, let me know in chat, but I'm guessing you did your little thing where you leave and don't say anything, and then never come back. It's the Juvenator special. I do agree that Tigrex should have been in 3 Ultimate. Would have been much better. I'm not sure why he wasn't included. I can live without monsters like a Cantor and a Canlos, but Tigrex is a mainstay in my opinion. He's a very good monster. Always has been. Alright, so... what should we do? If we don't have a quest on the board soon, these people are going to freak out. They're going to be like, oh, this room's dead. There's nothing to do here, I'm leaving. And they're of course going to assume that it's a turns room. Because there's no such thing as a room that's not a turns room in this game, apparently, so... yeah. They're here for one reason. And that is because they think they're going to have a turn. But they're going to... well, okay, maybe I would be willing to do turns, to be honest. Because it would keep things varied. Chaotic Gormagala in the Ruined Pinnacle. So fire. And we may as well stick with Sword and Shield, if only for the fact that I won't have to change my Hunter Arts, if I do so. We will use the Bruising Beak. This is an actual blunt weapon. It is 350 raw, with 22 element, plus 14 defense. And stats not including the Bludgeoner increase are 365 raw, with 22 element. And it's a pretty good weapon, provided you have Bludgeoner. I like it a lot. I'd better join the quest, just to show that I am approving of the fact that it has been posted. I apologise for the background noise. It's just lovely. I mean, it's required that when I record there be background noise to ruin things. It is the ultimate in a Doomlink live stream experience. Okay. Looking for Exchanger. Don't think I'll find it, so I might have to... yeah, fuck it. Attack up large, I think. Or not. Let's do this. I can't feel better with Defender High. I need to check what we're hunting again. That's right. That's right. I remember now. I'm not much of a Scottish lad, but I occasionally pull out the accent. And I'm terrible at it, by the way. Because sometimes I slip in some Irish. So, yeah, don't be hanging on my every word with my Scottish accent. You'd be better off ignoring it entirely. Okay. So, Autonomic spawned in the area with the monster. Now we'll go this way, this should be the fastest way. It's not going to be fast, but it will be the fastest from my starting position. It looks like I'm fairly close, but I'm not. So we're going to have to take a little bit of a journey to get there. A little bit of a journey. I'm only going to be live for another 30 minutes. This is going to be a short live stream. I mean, most of the live streams that I do will be shorter. I mean, don't expect too many long live streams anymore. My circumstances have changed. I have less free time on my hands. I'm not like those people who have a full-time job yet still find the time in their lives, usually through not sleeping, to do like 8-hour live streams. You know, I do have things that I enjoy doing outside of live streaming, so therefore expect 2-hour long live streams, at least for the most part. Maybe on weekends you can expect some longer live streams, but I wouldn't guarantee it, and I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't have you expect it, and I personally wouldn't guarantee it. There you go. Alright. Whoa! What happened there? Yeah, managed to get a mount there. Of course, my mount message is help get me down from here. That is from 4 Ultimate. I've had that since 4 Ultimate anyway. It's not like I had it before 4 Ultimate, because guess what? That was the first game to have mounting, and some guy's going to be like, I'm actually Doomlink. Mounting was introduced in Monster Hunter 4. To which I would say, ah, shut up. Every time I say something was introduced in 4 Ultimate, some actual doofus is going to be like, actually, it was introduced in Monster Hunter 4. And you know what I say to that? The game is irrelevant and didn't factor into the discussion in the first place, because it is nothing more than the high-ranked version of 4 Ultimate that never released in English. Okay? Okay. I know what was brought in 4 Ultimate, but it doesn't... Excuse me, I know what was brought in 4, but it doesn't enter the discussion, so... I don't need to be corrected with irrelevant information. And I'm not bitter at all, clearly, about that. You know, it's probably only happened like twice ever that I've been corrected in that way, but it annoys me, because it's like, clearly that's not interesting or important. The only real noticeable, or notable rather, differences between those games are, you know, balancing relating to Charged Blade, and I think Insect Glaive as well. I think, well, Charged Blade in particular was very different, and I think it sucked. Can't remember if it was stronger or weaker, but whatever was going on with Charged Blade, it wasn't quite right in Monster Hunter 4, but all I can say about Monster Hunter 4 was that I was too busy being shocked that Capcom would be so foolish as to put a Monster Hunter game on the 3DS system that I certainly wasn't paying too much attention to it. But I seem to remember there being information revealed about Monster Hunter 4 before even 3G. So, yeah. They were definitely being developed at the same time. Oh, stop it. Fortunately, it was not affected by tremor or anything like that. Oh, come on. I still got caught by that? That's crazy. I went forwards there because I was trying to clear the head. But the width of that hitbox was so great. Couldn't really get a run up to dive there. The hitbox of that attack was so great that I still got hit, so... yeah, that wasn't too great in the end. To, of course, repeat terms in a very inarticulate way. Just aiming for the back legs to get him to knock down as so then I can go and sword dance the face. And get everything except the most damaging attack, no doubt, to land on target. I would assume that, based on balancing, the most damaging attack would be the final one in the combo, because to have that on target, and to not have been flinched prior to getting that out, is something to be rewarded. So they would make that the strongest attack. Oh, wow. It's actually out of range of that. Wasn't expecting that business. And he's down again. Might aim for this wing, actually, because it has yet to be broken. Oh no. Made the wrong decision to evade in that direction. And he's limping out. Well, I am very sorry, but... purely out of habit I was going to sharpen up. That would not have been a good thing to do. I don't know if he's necessarily here, but I think he might be in an area that we need to go this way to reach. I think he is in the area that we jump into from here. I hope so. If he's not, then I'm an idiot. Oh, yes he is. Yes he is. Just wanted to make... Don't jump, like, don't waste my time. Oh shit, he's at the... No, I've just led the whole team astray. You know what he's done? He's gone to the top of the fucking area, I think. Has he gone to the top of the area? I think he has. I think he's actually gone to the top of the area. Which is ridiculous. I can't believe he's gone all the way up there immediately. Like, straight from that area that he was in before, he went to the top of the ruined pinnacle. Which is very, very awkward because I actually thought it was just a little bit to the west of where he is now. But apparently it's not. Apparently it really goes out to the east, that top area. The ruined pinnacle, in case someone wanted to know, or in case someone was interested in my general opinion regarding the ruined pinnacle, is in fact the worst designed location in the entire Monster Hunter series. It was designed by some funny man who decided that it would be a good idea to make the most confusing as possible location design for people in this game. I don't know why that was decided, but every single map in the Monster Hunter series has a logical layout. It's very logical, whereas this seems to be very, very insistent on being as illogical as possible. Now that's not necessarily relating to this area's position, but you will notice that if you're not familiar with the ruined pinnacle, you are really not familiar with it. Because it's not logical. You need to memorize a lot of things regarding it, because it's not something you can work out logically in terms of where to go. So it's just, I don't know, I don't like it. I'm not a fan at all of the ruined pinnacle. In terms of how it visually looks, sure, that's fine, but in terms of how it's laid out, area by area, no. No, the only thing that I hate more is the ancient forest from World, actually. The ancient forest will forever be my least favourite location in the Monster Hunter series. That is assuming that we can even refer to Monster Hunter World as Monster Hunter game. But if we do assume that it is, then yes. The ancient forest is just... whoa. Even thinking about it fills me with displeasure. Great in theory. Oh. Theoretically, great map. In practice and in gameplay terms, I'd rather put a fucking needle in my cock. Okay? Okay. I'm glad we're all on the same page there. Autonomic finds the map to be awful. Yes, you would have gotten a contrary scale. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that at all. That's like your second ever Chaotic Gormagala, and you've acquired 2 contrary scales. I got 1 too, actually. That's my 6th. How very funny. You'll probably get 2, honestly. If I got 1, you'll probably get 2. Alright, I'll probably do like 1 more hunt and then finish up. If it's not yet 2 hours after the next hunt, then I'll do 2 hunts from now, but we'll see what happens. Okay. But yeah, expect the next few recordings of this game to be only blunt elemental weapons, because I want to show them off. I still haven't made all of the blunt elemental weapons that I want to make yet, but I'd like to use them and show them off and enjoy them, so do expect them to have a pretty major role to play in these recordings for a little while. I'd say, you know, this one plus the next one and maybe the one after it. And maybe even more, depending on how proactive I am with forging these weapons. As far as what we're going to do next, look, I'll make it turns because they are definitely assuming that it's a turns room, so I'll give this to player 2. He can post whatever he wants. I know that not a single person in here has indicated that they think it's a turns room, but it's just how it is, you know, there is no such thing as a room that is just being made so that one guy can post, or that 2 out of 4 people can post and no one else. It's just always the expectation that it is a turns room, so I will treat it that way, because I don't want to, I guess, betray their expectations. So we've got a water weapon to choose this time, going up against our friend the Silver Athlos. I'm glad to see that it's not hyper. I'm very glad to see that. In terms of water blunt weapons, I could maybe look for dual blades. Yeah, Spirit Twists, there you go. Now, dual blades versus this monster, not that great, not the most fun, but these are proper blunt weapons again. You can see that they do start off with a lot of green. I mean, that's really what you want with blunt weapons. You want it to start off with green, provided we're talking about a weapon status that is not affected in any way by sharpness skills. And yeah, you want a lot of it too. A lot of green is good, because while I think orange is fine, excuse me, orange is bad. While I think yellow is fine, you don't get a lot of yellow. You almost never get a lot of yellow with a weapon. What you get a lot of is green, and green is still very good with Bludgeoner, if not better in some way or another. I don't really know how it works, because sometimes it can be deceptive to go based on the increased damage that you've received from, like, in your raw value from your low sharpness level. But what I'm trying to say is that the fact that you don't have to constantly sharpen up is a positive thing. So the more you can just deal repeated high damage with green, the better. And this is one of those weapons that can do it. And it is indeed appropriate for this hunt. So I'm a happy chap. And, well, I'm not happy in the sense that I have to use dual blades against a fucking Silver Athlos, but outside of that, I'm a happy camper, as they say. Some guy's readying up. I think he unreadied up and then readied up again to make a statement to say that he wants to go right now. Now, might not have been the case, but I've seen it. I've seen it many times before. Shut up, bird. Some kind of swamp-dwelling, feathered creature, avian animal, ruining my recording. Not really. I mean, there are plenty of other things to ruin my recording except for creatures like that, or outside of creatures like that. Let's see where the monster is. It appears that it is starting in the Raytheon Nest location. So we'll go and say hello. What the hell are we hunting again? Let's find out. It is Silver Athlos, there you go. That would be why he's starting here. That makes sense to me. I had completely forgotten what we were fucking hunting. I have to be completely honest. Oh, I do have raw resistance on this armor set. That's very nice to see. The reason why I wouldn't really use this with a longsword setup is because it does have a stamina skill, which is there, if only for the fact, well, definitely only for the fact that this is for dual blades. Can you just not do that crap? I don't need that shit in my life. No. He almost turned to face me. Yeah, shut up. As you can see, raw resistance is just great. People who don't appreciate raw resistance are people who've never used it, as far as I'm concerned. It's just so good. It's good for DPS, you know, it's not just quality of life. It's not quality of life. It's about dealing more damage, because your DPS is way higher. But it becomes more important for opportunity-based or opportunity-based weapons, so like longsword, hammer, for example, which are difficult to deal damage with at a high DPS level for the reason that you need to commit with those weapons. And what that means is that having raw resistance is very important, because you can commit and then not worry about being interrupted by a monster roar, which equates to higher damage overall in the hunt. That's how that works. Thank you, Doomlink, for letting us know. Now, you're starting to see, I hope, why Dual Blades versus a Silver Rathalos not only is unideal, but in fact fucking sucks. It's because the range is poor, it is limited indeed to basically having this monster on the ground, and this monster doesn't like to stay on the ground. The Silver Rathalos is not a fan of that. He's not very accommodating to Blade Master users, and quite frankly this is one of the worst options. Sword and Shield and Dual Blades is not a fun day. Or using it is not going to net you a fun day. Now, I specifically went between the legs with the intention of avoiding that, and I still got hit anyway, so... To say that I would be disappointed would be a fucking understatement, but you're starting to notice that I can't even get my charge up on these fucking things. I mean, now I can. After being in the hunt for 2 minutes, I can actually get the charge up on my Dual Blades, but that was because he just only then, and at no other time, gave me the opportunity to do that. And he spends most of the time in the air, shooting his fucking fireballs around, doing random ass poison claw attacks. I mean, he's just an awful monster. I don't care who you are. This monster sucks, okay? And I also hate Gold Raytheon. They just suck, okay? If you're using a gun, sure, they're fine. I can live with them. But I've no interest in them as a Blade Master user. No interest at all. I don't even like the standard ones, to be completely honest with you. But the metal wrath monsters, they suck. I think they're stupid. I've never enjoyed them. I don't necessarily want them to be removed, but God, I hate them. There's a lot of room for them to be fucking annoying. That's the point. And I'm kind of hoping this will be the last hunt. I can stretch it out to 2 hours anyway. That's within my capabilities. Let's drop a Pitfall, which is a terrible place to drop a Pitfall, especially when he's doing that fucking attack. What a strange place to put it. Up on that ledge. You can see I've already lost my fucking charge. I mean, it's great, isn't it? There's nothing better than just taking 2 minutes to get your charge up on your Dual Blades, only to not even be able to make use of it because the guy is fucking leaving the area. It's going to take him like 5 hours to get into this trap, so... Straight flash bomb, Doomlink. You know, some guy with his words of wisdom. Why don't you bring flash bombs? Yeah, why don't I? Good question. Oh, well, that's a bit unfortunate that you would get your mount. You would finally get your mount, but only directly into the trap. Now, Bloodwind 3 is something that I really need. Well, I still don't have it. Don't know why. But whatever. Okay, yeah. You wanna fucking medal for your well-targeted Poison Claw attack? You want one? I'll give you a medal, but it'll be for most annoying monster in the series. How about that? Ambassador of asshole monsters. How about that? So I'm aiming for the face for elemental damage plus hoping to, you know, plus, how about I speak English? So I was aiming for the head so that I could both break it and deal elemental damage. There you go. Thanks, Doomlink, for actually explaining what's in your head. Thank you. How are the hunts? I've had better, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm using my blunt weapons at the moment. Got a bludgeoner set up right now with the Spirit Twists, elemental blunt weapons. As I said, I would give a try, or give a try. Speak English! That I would try out, and I mean, give a try is fine, it's just awkward, and not how I would want to speak. But anyway. Point is that I'm enjoying myself in terms of the weapons, but this monster is shit. I kind of feel bad for Tected because I'll be leaving before he can post his quest, but whatever. I really don't want to do another one, so this'll do me, I think. Still aiming for this head, just wanting to break it, really. Once I've broken it, I'm out of here. There you go. Now it's wing time. Ideally, you want to be aiming for the wings, if you've got a Blade Master weapon. Unless it's really high element. At which point the head would be pretty good. I've got Wolf's Maw finally, but I guess I'll save it for when he relocates. Are you still in timeout with your lockdown set? You'll always be in timeout for that one. Not really, but... Anyway. I'll be finishing up after this anyway, because it's been 2 hours, so... No, stop it. Stop it. What game is it where a character goes, stop it? It was really weird. It was like, stop it. I think it was Morrowind. Like if you hit, there's like a particular, you know, there are only so many voices in Morrowind, you see. And I think there's one shout that a character makes, which is stop it! If you hit them, it's like, what do you mean stop it? You fucking attacked me in the first place. I don't attack neutral, non-aggressive enemies in Morrowind. So if you're going, stop it! It's like, well, it's a bit late, love. You fucking ran and attacked me. Stupid girl. Maybe consider more carefully whether I would be an appropriate target for your aggression. Annoyingly, we haven't reached 2 hours yet, but guess what? I don't give a shit. This is my last hunt and I'm sticking to it. I mean, not that I promised that this would be my last hunt before, but I think it is. I think it is. I'm feeling like it. It's mantle day today. Have I actually done a quest where I didn't get a mantle this recording? Like, what is going on? If you want to know what's going on, it's because I don't need them. That's why I'm getting them. When you need them, you never get them, and then as soon as you just don't need them, you get absolutely showered with them. Absolutely showered with them. Anyway, I'll go and fix my inventory, and then I'm out of here. I think. Yes. This is involved in fixing inventory as well. There you go. I'm out of here. Let's exit. No, not create. I wanted to actually exit the bloody online. Okay. So I do thank you all for joining. This has been a kind of short recording. Hasn't even reached 2 hours, but I don't care. I don't feel like continuing. But, yeah, I don't know when the next recording will be. Hopefully I can get that capture card issue sorted out. You know, the capture card that I'm not using now, but in fact the one that I'm using for basically every console that's not the Switch or the Wii U. And I guess the 360 as well. Not that I ever record my Xbox 360. But, yeah. I will see you all next time. Thanks for sticking around, Pantherflower. And, yeah, I will see you all next time I'm live if you'd like to join me again. Bye-bye for now.